I have seen so many great schools that are educating the very kids that people say can't be educated. And so what I've concluded is that Mortimer Adler, when he wrote the Vidalia proposal years and years ago, he was correct when he said there are no unteachable children. What there are adults who have not yet figured out how to teach them. All right. And you know what the beauty of going in these schools is that when you go to a school where people are educating these kids from so-called dysfunctional families, and you can see the education taking place, what it tells you is you cannot say that it cannot be done. All you can say is you not do it. This teacher come up to me and say, you know, Howard, I could do a much better job if I had better kids. And it took me a while because I had always been confused. But this teacher really helped me understand the problem, because now I'm clear what it is. Because what it is that our parents have sent us their worst kids. And they got their best kids at home. They're just waiting to see how we do with their worst kids. And so if we start doing better with their worst kids, just think help is on the way. Because then they're going to send us their good kids. People often ask me, well, you know, what about the parents and all this? And I have people who tell me that it's the parents' responsibility to educate our kids. And my response to that is, all right, then I'll tell you what, let's shut down all of these multi-million-dollar educational institutions we set up, get the money to the parents. People who are taking care of these kids, they're telling kids the right thing and the kids are listening. Then there's a group who are telling kids the right thing, but the kids not feeling it. They're not, and these are the ones who come to the school crying because they're doing everything that they know to do, but it's not working. But there's a third group of parents who don't care. Now, you're supposed to say that, because people always tell me, all parents care for their kids. All parents don't care for their kids. I know I ain't supposed to say it, I'm saying it. There's a group of people who do not care. But it's the fourth group that I've become more familiar with, and that's the group that's hostile to what we're trying to do. That's the parent who called up one of our young men and cursed him out on his cell phone because he let me hear it. And she cursed him out because he wanted to go to college, and her thing was he thinks he's better than the rest of us. So when people come to me, as actually this person did at the talk, and said to me, we can't do anything about these problems until we solve the problem with parents. That to me is a ludicrous statement, because we're not going to solve the problem with a lot of these parents anytime soon. And it means, therefore, that we're going to have to educate these kids in spite of what it is that's happening there. And that in fact, we're giving some of our kids skills, and I hate to say this, for them to know how to fight against what their parents are saying to them, or the conditions that their parents are creating for them that they must live in. Now that's a hard statement to make. We should not have in America where only people with money can make choices for their children. And at one point, we're going to have to face up to this enduring reality. That if you have money in America, and schools do not work for your children, you're going to do one of three things. You're going to move somewhere where the schools do work and then try to keep those other kids out of your schools. You're going to put your kids in private schools, or you're going to find Sylvan or somebody to give extra tutoring and help to your kids. The only parents who are forced to stay in schools that do not work for their children are poor and working class parents who can't pursue either of those three options. And it is hypocritical for people teaching in schools that they would never put their own children in, demanding that other people's children stay there. I'm sorry.